So to really start having conversations around what can be done, what should we expect, what are the new trends that we should really expect, and what can we do to just give confidence back to our clients. You know, we all provide different services, particularly with Akagera Aviation. And of course, Lydia, you'll elaborate more on what you're doing, same as Chris. But then speaking on a bigger perspective as Rwanda as a destination, that's where our focus is right now. So I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Haba Hadija. For Akagera, I work for Akagera Aviation. I'm the business development manager. For those who don't know what Akagera Aviation is, it's a Rwandan-based aviation company specializing in helicopter solutions. We service tourism industry and of course corporate industry. But our biggest share has been really partnering with every stakeholder in the tourism industry to be able to promote Rwanda and servicing it in the best way. Particularly with Akagera Aviation, we offer charter services. So I'm talking to people that are very familiar with my services because you're my best client. And ground handling services for private jets. That's also something that we need to probably quickly dive in our conversation, how we expect exclusive travel in future. We also offer ground meet and greet services at the airport that is offered to both private jet travelers and commercial airline travelers. And also we recently, that was 1st of June last year, we introduced a new product of paper seats. So paper seats, we said flying and really targeting clients that are in sort of middle class, because with charter, it's of course perceived as a high-end product because it's quite expensive, really running a helicopter company. But then for us to be able to diversify our services, we thought of introducing a product that we think some of the clients visiting Rwanda that want to be able to connect different national parks easier, quicker, and of course affordability as well. So we provided that. So we also have that new service. It's less than a year, but we really hope it will kick well in the future. So quickly introducing my dearest guests. I'll start with the lady, Lydia Dayo. Lydia is the acting general manager at Singita Volcanoes National Park, and really brilliant minds with vast knowledge in hospitality, because we need your mind on what we can do to help us pick up the pieces from what we're going through right now. Chris Munyao. Chris, really, your profile is quite long, so I'll try to summarize it as much as I can. So Chris is the general manager for Primate Safari and a certified incentive specialist and a partner for Business Events East Africa. And is also a member of SITE, and then also a member of Aviation Global DMC. So with that, Chris, you have over X amount of years. You'll also tell us in this industry from Kenya to Rwanda, you've traveled around the world really promoting the destination, and especially when it comes to the region. So we really need to tap into your mind and see what we can do to help us move through, be able to carry on and see what we can do with this COVID. With our discussions today, I will start with general conversation. COVID-19 was a shock for everybody. No one saw it coming, and attacking us in the prime time, meaning we are now in our high season. 2020, literally every company saw 2020 as the year of the cream, particularly with Akagera Aviation. We were expecting our 2020 to be the best year ever for the last 15 years of our existence. Then COVID happened, everything shut down, right? Everything shut down. With Akagera Aviation, literally 90% of our business is foreign market. So you'll also be able to talk about what you guys are experiencing. But then the topic of discussion right now is that I have seen online, right? Beat us in the industry, around Africa, around the world, everyone is saying, stay home and travel tomorrow. It's easy to say, it's easy on the mouth. But then us who are the experts of the industry, us who are actually going to be the ones to service our clients once they come in our destination. What is your opinion? I want to start with Lydia. What do you mean, or what do they mean by stay home and travel tomorrow? What should we look forward to? I'm speaking as a client right now. I'm asking you. I have a family and I need to travel. What do you mean by travel tomorrow? So I want to start.
Thank you, Abba.
And then Chris, you'll also be able to help us to understand what travel tomorrow means. And really, let's go dive deep in and really give the vast insight and really help people to understand this by just not writing stay home and travel tomorrow. Let's go deeper. Thank you, Lydia.
Thank you, Abba. As you say, stay home, travel tomorrow. I think in our guest minds, it will mean that traveling tomorrow will be a decision that they will have thought of during a very long time. And when the guest will be deciding to travel, when the time will come, it will have been a decision that they will have thought of much more than they used to before. Before, guests could say, let me take a 2-day trip, let me travel here or there, let me go at the other side of the world, without really thinking of so many consequences that this travel could have. But now I think that this decision will be taken with a lot of thoughts. And I definitely think that guests will want quality time. So what is quality time? Quality time is, as you said, Haba, being with your family, being with your friends. We know so many people now who haven't seen their family for such a long time. They're in different regions, in different countries. They haven't been able to be together. Luckily, we have internet, so people have been able to connect. However, the quality time is to be able to sit down with your friends, sit down with your family, have a meal together, laugh together, and just go back to the basics of life. So I think this is something that our guests will be focusing on, to really have quality time together, because they haven't seen each other for such a long time, which will mean as well to spend more time together. On a day like yesterday, where our guests or all of us could travel for maybe 2 days, 3 days, I believe that guests will want to spend much more time in one property. They will want to avoid having to go in different places. So definitely having the opportunity, for example, to take a charter to go from one place to another, it will limit their risk and their interactions with other people. So I definitely think that this is one of the points that we will foresee, to see people spending much more time in one location. We're lucky to be in a country like Rwanda, where there's so many different places to see and so many different regions which are fantastic. You can actually just spend one holiday only in one country like Rwanda and seeing different regions. And I definitely think that this will be the trend now, to spend less time combining countries, combining destination, but spending this time in one property. I do believe as well that guests would, as I said, they will want to have less interaction with other people, less interaction with other guests that they might not know where they're coming from. They will want to stay by themselves. So I see a trend as well in guests booking exclusive properties, staying by themselves in one place, deciding to go in a place where it's not really crowded. And, these exclusive bookings, I think, will be happening quite a lot, with groups of family, groups of friends traveling together.
Wow, Lydia, I'll come back to you on that, yeah, because we need to as well discuss more on exclusivity and also some of the measures that I really think that you can also highlight with us. Because why would I choose to do exclusive and spend my 4 days at Singida? Why can't I go to another property? So also travel tomorrow comes with measures that are going to be put in place and safety-wise, right? So I'll come back to you on that to discuss more on what what Singita is actually trying to do, and actually all of us, because we're all complementing each other with the lodge and the helicopter and then the safaris. Mm-hmm. So Chris, we want to hear from your mind. What does travel tomorrow mean to you?
Interesting times, for sure. Interesting times. nothing has been witnessed in the world similar to what we have today. It forms a huge history years to come. Years, many people will talk about COVID-19 more than they talk about SARS in the early 19th centuries. It has changed our lives, and I agree with what Lydia said. Travel patterns will change. We will see a lot of private jets flying in because people want to travel alone, especially those who can afford. And a lot of things will change. The world will never be the same again. And we can only wait and see. We cannot tell for sure what is happening. But I want to come to the narrative of travel tomorrow. I think I'm seeing that changing. That narrative will change very quickly, and we could be walking into tomorrow immediately. I mean, I'm seeing airlines excited about opening up of their spaces. Tanzania the other day said they are opening their airspace, and very quickly major airlines of the world are already flocking in, which to me, I thought there would be time to put things together, try to ensure it's cleaned up and all that. I thought it could probably be a mess. The announcement from the newspaper yesterday, New Times, that SN Brussels is already lined up to fly into Kigali in July, and I was like, oh, is that possible? Is it happening that soon? This pushes us into, are we ready? Actually, I would go there straight. Are we ready to host clients? If they came tomorrow, if they came in July, for example, if they came in August, are we ready? We are looking at what operation procedures are supposed to be in place if travel comes back tomorrow. And it's something we all need, Akagera Aviation, and the lodges, Lydia, and ourselves need quickly start thinking about, because we've seen the trends in the US. The word goes around, open up the towns, open up the cities. And in 2 days, they are flooded with people, when we would have assumed everybody will stay home. Those trends are telling us people are already tired of staying home and they want to get out there. And though we cannot predict 100%, the signs are we will get into travel as soon as things come down. Could be July, could be August. We've got, interestingly, and I want to bring this to your attention, we've got, interestingly, bookings in July and that refused in hope they will travel. And I find it amazing that, and we are telling them, look, we feel July will still be, nobody will be traveling. How will you get to Rwanda? And then SN Brussels pops in. So probably they could travel. And we don't know who else is ready to come in. The airlines, it's a matter of, as soon as the information is out there, people will travel. My take on it is we could be walking into that tomorrow sooner than we imagined. I mean, our imagination has been tomorrow could be 2021, 2022. It could come sooner.
All right, Chris, that's actually quite interesting. It would be very nice to be able to recover quickly and bounce back to our normal. But then again, you've just talked about the start of operation. What are SOPs that are in place, right? Because we've touching from what Lydia said with exclusivity, back to you, Chris, you're operating safari cars, right? But of course, you give me business. I'll also touch on that with a trend of private jets and trying to fly exclusive. What are you doing in place? What are measures put in place as Primary Safari to ensure that your clients, when they come in this destination, they come safe and most importantly, they leave safe?
Currently, we've been, and it's an issue we shared with RBB and RCB in relation to areas we cannot touch. We are looking at the airport, handling of luggage when clients arrive. How will that luggage be handled, ensuring it's safe? And at the airport, the belts, how will that luggage, what more, how will they be sanitized? The handling of passports, and only the government can give us those, the feedback. However, we are currently vetting, we're in the process of vetting fumigation companies. We are already talking to about 3 where they will be fumigating our vehicles, and also training our team to sanitize the whole vehicles. Every time clients walk out of the vehicle, they get into sanitizing. Of course, it comes with its own challenges, because when you look at a door, you're thinking you only need to sanitize the door handle. And then you realize anybody can touch any part of that door. So do you really need to sanitize the whole door? It's a complex situation to look at. But we are looking at the key points or key areas that we should be able to sanitize, where we find people touching commonly in the vehicles. I believe other than vehicles, every other unit, the restaurants, in the different lodges and the bed and everything. I want to hear from Lydia, because I'm not the moderator here. It's quite complex handling accommodation at this stage, because it's quite involving. And yes.
Great, Lydia. I think we'll just go straight back to you with Singita. When you look at accommodation, I mean, there's a lot of little details that really have to be touched, you know, from their lobbies to the relaxation area, to their places of sleep for all those days. And then also, you'll also be able to tell us, how are you going to ensure that your measures are well communicated to your clients? Because you can have your SOPs in place, right? But they're internal. But then for me, speaking as maybe a random client, I would just want to be curious to know, I'm choosing Singita. Why am I choosing Singita? How do I know? So tell us what a few of the measures you have to put in place. Chris just told us we may be able to bounce back earlier than we thought. Yeah. So July, you have clients that are booking your lodge exclusively for a whole week. How are you going to ensure that these clients are well confident? They're trying to build confidence back to travel, confidence to choosing Singita, confidence to say Rwanda is safe, because again, these are the people that will have to fly back and be able to spread the word and say, hey, by the way, Rwanda has these cases, but also they are doing these measures with all stakeholders in the industry. So we have our part to play as the industry players. So give us some insight on what it is you're doing.
So yes, Chris, as Chris said, you know, working with our partners is very key. We're first starting in ensuring that our guests are coming to a COVID-free area, which means that that's been our main focus. Working on the SOP for the future has been really the main focus. We're ensuring that at the lodge, as you arrive at Singita Kutanda, the staff is COVID-free. I mean, the guests will be having most contact with the staff here, especially if you book, obviously, if you have an exclusive booking. So the measures that we've put in place already since March is that the core team, which is working at Singita, because we haven't closed our lodge, we haven't closed the doors and we've all gone home. No, we're very focused since March, since we've had our last guest. We've been focused on taking care of our assets, which means that we're working in the rooms as if we had guests. We're cleaning the rooms, we're cleaning the lobby, we're taking care of the garden, really as if we had guests. And what we've done is that we've had a core team on the property who has been on isolation for 2 weeks in order to ensure that no one is sick. And this is the most important measures I can say that we've put in place to ensure that whoever comes at Singita is COVID-free. This will be the main concern of the guests, to know I'm going in a country where there is COVID. How am I sure that the people that I will meet at the property who will be serving me will be COVID free? So this is our main focus, to make sure that our staff is free, is not sick, and of course it's educating the staff. It will be constantly, until I think for many years now, constant work of educating staff, educating people of the measures that we have to put in place in order to ensure that there's no contamination. And this will work with our suppliers as well. We will be partnering together because no one can make it alone in these difficult times. So it will be partnering together to ensure that you are taking the right measures in order to protect our guests. As Chris said, he's putting in many different measures to ensure that the luggages are sanitized, and it will be the same here at the property with our close partners, to just work together to make sure that we're looking into every single aspect from the moment the guest lands in the country and key departs, to make sure that we are taking all the measures to ensure that they might not be sick.
Wow, that's really great. Gives us confidence that you guys are really putting your things together. And I'm sure both of you are wondering, what is the airport doing? Because at Kagera Aviation, we are best at the airport. And indeed, Chris, you just mentioned about something that is worrying you in terms of the luggage handling and all the meet and greet services. That's all encompasses together. Particularly with the Kagera Aviation, we have the part of the EMS part, which we provide to tourists. So what we've been doing since the outbreak of the virus, we have worked really hand in hand with educate. Oh, I was lost. Yeah, can you see me?
We had lost you, Abba.
Yes, I got interrupted. Yeah, so I'll just carry on. I was mentioning that we are, with our paramedic, has really done a very brilliant job of ensuring that every staff is well educated on this virus, on how it's being transmitted. So we've had sessions of that, in particular with commercial department that is in charge of handling clients from the entry point to exit point, because our services are really personalized. We operate like a private aviation company. So meaning we receive clients off their private jet, literally to hand them over to our dearest private safari. And then once they're leaving the country as well, we are the last contact with these clients. So in terms of the measures that we have done, we are doing it's like a 360. Our aircraft have been well sanitized, and with the right recommendable way of sanitizing aircraft, to ensure that we don't do more harm than good, right? And then of course, what everyone is doing right now is, of course, wear a mask, make sure you sanitize and wash your hands, and we are doing a lot of that. In terms of the luggage handling and conveyor belt, because remember, everything is somehow put together, we are trying to design our own SOPs, but then in partnership with the airport, because airport has different stakeholders, so it can't just be Kagera Aviation. Mm-hmm. So us really working closely with our regulator, RCA, and RAC, and literally everyone at the airport, to ensure from the entry to exit of the client is safe, because it's just beyond just the client who's coming to visit Rwanda. We are literally the entry point of everyone who's coming to Rwanda. So we take a big responsibility on that. So that is what Kagera Aviation we are doing. So to just give you confidence, whoever will be flying to Singita helipad, Kitonda, best believe will be in the safest hands possible, and will be really safe. So I want to just quickly dive into our second discussion, and which really, Chris, you just gave me some good news that we may start flying Kagera Aviation by July, meaning the skies are open very soon. You just said it's in Brussels. I mean, it's really good news, honestly. People need to hear such things. Gives life back to us. But then it will be a small portion. I don't expect, much as the skies will be open, I don't expect volumes of travelers. People will still have a fear of traveling, a panic of traveling. Remember, we are dealing with the foreign market, maybe some who've never been to Africa, right? And you have a fear of going to Africa, that's number one. And then you have a fear of COVID. And then when you look at the age, the age gap of tourists that visit Rwanda, at least according to the statistics we have with the Kagera Aviation, are elderly people, talking about 50 and above. And from what we are reading and what World Health Organization is telling us is that elderly people are more vulnerable to this disease, which again means destinations that attract such kind of groups also are vulnerable, right? Right? So let's focus on 2020, 2021, right? We are seeing as Rwanda, the industry players, our biggest market has been the foreign market. What can we do in the meantime, in the interim? What can we do to keep business running? Chris, I'll start with you. You know, you've seen you've been through a lot of crises and a lot of events in the world, especially with tourism industry. We're talking about 9/11. You were already in the industry. Some of us were not even close to be in the industry. You experienced the 9/11. You also experienced the financial crisis, right? Literally, the tourism industry collapsed. So for you, you're not new to these kind of events. Tell us, what do you really think should be done now as we wait for what we think will be the new norm, which is 2021, 2022?
And also to add on that, there is the US Iraq war. I think we've been given a few seconds. We've upgraded. Basically, if you ask me, looking at units like Akagera Aviation, we are looking at Singita, which are really high-end kind of products. It's time to clean up. It's time to get ready for business whenever it comes back. It may not be July. I'm just excited. You can tell I'm excited. I'm looking forward to trimming down my beard, of course. As
we look forward to your new look. Yeah.
But we always jump into moving trains and we keep on moving, and hardly do we take a minute to look back at where we are coming from. COVID as companies, and if we are hanging on, is a chance for us, to be honest, to look back, do some cleanup, repolish our visions, repolish our standard operation procedures. And when we get back better and stronger. Yeah. And unless we can do that, we will just get back and it will be operation as usual. And you could be doing a wrong thing the same way for 10 years, but just because there is nobody telling you, or you've never thought about it or taken self-audits, you think you do it right. It's time to take self-audits. It's time to look back, even when we feel like we are the best, to look back and look at, do we do it right? Have we been operating in the best way possible? Are we comparable to the best in the world? Mm-hmm. And the human being is quickly in modes of, we are the best, even when we haven't started, or even when we are non-starters. It's the time now to look back and polish what we have. Until when the world opens for us, I'm excited. I look at every news that is coming through. Anybody traveling, India traveled their domestic flights on Monday. Korea started earlier, and their flights were full when they opened, and they are doing very well domestically. US has not done very well in terms of domestic flights, but they've never stopped their flights. However, from they started their economy, you will see a difference in the way their flights are operating. The airports are getting busier and busier by the day. So yes, that gets me excited. But I could just be overexcited, and every news coming through, when you say Kigali, to me it means Kigali, and then I move with it, even if it's a foreign word from elsewhere in the world. So I'm excited about the developments. But in the meantime, should it not happen, we are taking self-audit and looking at things that we've not done well and polishing, so that when the world opens, we'll be better.
We are ready. Great,
We are
Chris.
ready.
Lydia, what's your opinion on that?
I really can't agree more with Chris. We cannot sit down now and wait for our guests to come back. We have to be active. We have to do self-audits, as Chris has very well said. We have to be innovative, I can say. We have to ask ourselves the right questions. How can I attract guests? It's, sitting down with your teams, brainstorming, and trying to find ideas. Really, I think innovation is something that we really have to focus on. Communication with our guests. We have so many platforms. Luckily, we have internet. We have to communicate with our guests, trying to find innovative ways to reach to them. Marketing campaigns. We need to promote our destination, because we will, as I said before, teamwork is very important, and we will only make it if we all partner together. So our property, we will be ready to welcome back our soon as possible, and taking care of our assets, taking care of what we have, of what our guests are coming to look for, taking care of your jets, Chris's beautiful cars, our property. We can't wait for guests to come back to where we were. We have so much time in our hands now, so we really have to make the best out of it. Definitely.
Yeah, I can't agree more with both of you. Yeah, carry on, please. Carry on. Yes.
No, and that's it.
Yeah.
As I said, engage with the trade partners and finding ideas together.
Yeah, I was going to say that actually finding a joint solution. Earlier I was speaking with my team that this is not one man's case. It didn't affect Akagera Aviation. This is a global crisis, and particularly as the industry players with our board, tourism board, we need to find a joint solution. If it's campaign, how do we go out there and promote Rwanda even better? Yeah, even stronger. So that, and also in terms of, and right now we are depleting our cash flow in a way that even just doing things by yourself, sometimes you don't even have the cash flow there. So doing things together will be able to achieve a lot, and really with limited resources. Innovation, I'm telling you, we've been again having meetings with my team. How do we be more innovative? We have these tools online, and if you don't know, pick up a new skill. Learn something about what can you do for your property. Yesterday I was watching IGTV, Instagram Live, for some of the travel agents abroad, and it was amazing how they're showing the virtual safaris. It was brilliant, and I said these are things that we should really kind of embark on and see what we can be able to collaboratively do together to really change. But then to just wrap up, I'm giving you probably a minute each, and then we close our discussion. And Chris, I'll ask you this in particular. We may need to have this other conversation some other time. Is that I'm seeing online news, some of our biggest market, which is the US, is really highly affected. Yeah, and that means that even bouncing back to be able to feel okay to travel again, some markets will actually take long, right? So there are other markets, let's say Australia, maybe what can we do? Yeah, what are other markets? Because as an industry or as a company, we have focused on particular markets that give us business. How do we get more from those that actually give us business? But then what if the more that give us business are the ones that are actually highly affected and not ready to travel? How about these other markets that I've been seeing? Spain is doing good in terms of recovery and all these things, amazing things they're doing. the other countries that are doing so well, is it the right time to probably look at those countries that are bouncing back quickly versus the ones that are already being affected and we can't really predict what the future holds for them? Or it would be shooting ourselves in the foot? Let's use 1
I
minute.
wouldn't wish away USA.
Yeah, carry on, Chris.
Sorry.
Carry
I
on.
wouldn't wish away USA so quickly. Still, even today, still one of the strongest economies in the world, much as they appear more hit. But there is more news sensation than actually the problems we have at hand. While COVID has destroyed economies across the world, the disease is not as fatal as propagated, as has been pushed out there. We've had, and thank God, we've had 300 plus cases in Rwanda with over 65% recoveries without known medicine. It says the disease, while it's a bad disease, it's sneaky. I look at the disease as sneaky. I don't look at it as deadly.
As deadly.
It's not a. And while you're looking at 100,000 deaths in US, it's a very small population of USA. And I'm telling you, the bigger population of USA is still alive and will be here when we open up. Yes. Well, I would like us to continue looking at the other markets, but at the same time, if you look at the impact of the disease across the globe, you will find it's not as fatal. We don't have as many fatalities as if it was Ebola in the same effects or affecting the similar number of people. It's a less fatal disease, if I could put it that way. And USA is bouncing back quickly. Europe is bouncing back. It's our other market.
Yeah.
And of course, it's important to look at Australia. Australia was hardly affected. Yes, it was affected. 6,000 deaths, I think, or thereabout, below 7,000, which means they did very well. But equally, Germany did extremely well with the disease and very, very low fatalities in Germany. But my take is, I think I'm just being positive to this whole thing. This is not a killer disease. This is a disease that has killed probably less than cancer in the whole year across the globe. Will kill less than malaria at the end of the day. And to me, it's about when we get ways to just minimize its spread across the globe, in our country, in Africa, the rest of the world, then we should go back to normal.
Wow, great. That's very good. That's again, Chris, I mentioned to you that you're giving us lots of good news for the industry. So definitely, this conversation is going to spread across the industry, and it will be amazing for people. Yeah, Lydia, what is your take on this? And there should be a conclusion, and then we close our session.
Yes, it's very good to see optimism in all this. I think the reality is that people are scared, people are afraid. We can go and look at statistics, but there's one reality: people are afraid, and what we have to do is to be as transparent as possible and to communicate with our guests, to communicate out what we're doing as companies, and to be able to reassure guests that they're coming in a safe country, they're coming in a safe place, and we will take care of them. I think that is really what we all have to focus on right now.
All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate your taking time to have this conversation. To be very honest, I've had fun having a chat with you, catching up with my dearest clients. It's been long. I miss Musanze already. I need to come down and see you physically. So we
I
can't
miss you
wait.
too.
Let's really have this conversation going on. Honestly, let's scale this conversation. Let's help one another. Let's find joint solutions that will really help us to be able to bounce back as the industry, because we were at our peak. You know, every tour operator you meet, they were really, everybody was excited for 2020, and boom, something really happened. We can't control it, but we can really find a solution together to be able to do better for 2020 and 2021 moving forward. So Chris, thank you so much for your time. You're a busy man. Lydia, thank you so much. Appreciate it. See you when we're able to see each other, right? Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye
guys.
bye.
Thank you.